your life is gonna fucking suck. Like it's very normal for people to go to work at 9 and then leave at 10 p.m. Like that's pretty much like expected out there. So
Yeah.
it's like after going to Cali, after going to the States, like I kind of knew like I wanted a better lifestyle for me, and rather than just listening to what society is telling me, what my parents are telling me, and just like getting a normal 9-to-5 job in the Hong Kong, I knew I had to do something different, and that's always been inside me, I think.
Hey everyone, this is Anthony Ngo, and welcome to one of the first few episodes of my interview series. Today, my guest is Henry Chan. A little bit of background. Henry is a UCSD alumni who found himself in Bali, Indonesia, where he became one of the co-founders and the campaign marketer for Batur Digital, a marketing agency. He has launched and managed marketing campaigns with budgets of upwards to $20,000 a month to help grow businesses online. He's a wizard in optimizing Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Google campaigns. He's been a resident of Bali for the past 2 years, and he's now looking to explore new parts of the world. But before he starts the next chapter of his life, we're going to learn more about his stay and how he got there. Henry, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for the introduction, Anthony.
Hey man, hopefully I didn't miss anything there. I just did like some brief research.
No, I think that was pretty comprehensive.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Sick. Okay, so like, what's the weather like over in Bali right now and the whole lockdown situation? Just, give us a little.
So the weather right now is actually the best time to be in Bali.
Yeah.
It's like technically our winter over here, but our winter doesn't. I mean, we're still like at 27 Celsius in our winter sometimes with the sun. But the nice part is at night it gets to like 22. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I never bothered to learn that in the States, but. But yeah, it's really fucking nice at night. I just wear a t-shirt, shorts all the time. This is the dry season, so there's barely any rain. So this is like the best time to be in Bali, like from June to September. That's my favorite time.
Yeah.
Starting in late November, December-ish, it starts to get really rainy. That's when the rainy season starts, and then that continues over to February, March. So that's why I'm planning to leave. Actually, that's a big factor because weather is really important to me.
Wow, really? Okay, so we'll get to that a little bit later.
Yeah.
And like the whole COVID situation, I know like Bali is usually pretty popular with like tourists and like a lot of digital nomads and stuff like that. What's the situation like now?
So COVID, I feel like, man, I've been on this island for like 2 years now, and I feel like I've been in like kind of a bubble, like shielded away from the horrors of COVID happening everywhere else in the world.
Yeah, I guess.
So like the first year, it was like we had a couple like light lockdowns, like most shit would still be open, and just like the nightclubs would be closed at 9 or 10.
Yeah.
People would still party, but yeah, we had a couple light lockdowns, and then we had like a whole year of like everything just being open, and then recently there's been a huge outbreak, huge surge in cases just in Indonesia in general.
Yeah.
I feel like so they did implement like a little bit stricter, slightly stricter, but like never like a hard lockdown. And I feel like the case spikes were mostly affecting like Jakarta and all those bigger cities in Indonesia. So at the same time, I feel like I have been like shielded away from most of COVID for this entire time. So I feel very blessed to have picked this island because they've controlled it relatively well. I mean, a few of my friends got COVID, but like they were fine. I might have gotten it at some point, but I never tested positive or anything. So yeah, praise up for that.
Yeah, I think it's kind of similar situation here in like Hanoi. Like things have been pretty good for about like a year, when things first started happening, especially like compared to the US, right? But then now we're actually in lockdown, and we've been in lockdown for like about a month now. So
okay, is your lockdown like a hard lockdown, or is it just like
it's a pretty hard lockdown right now, so like no one could really go outside and stuff like that. So
damn. Yeah, we never had like a lockdown like that. Even when it was like the strictest time, I still went to like, I don't know, like I still drove like 2 hours and like to some other parts of Bali, and I was able to like still travel around. So it was good.
That's wild. Okay, let's backtrack a bit. how did you end up all the way in Bali? You know, I know you were doing a bit of traveling before. I've seen like your IG highlights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when were you like, this is it? You know, I want to stay here in Bali. Like, was this something that you knew you were gonna do right after college? And like, why digital marketing? Was that something that you just fell into, or was it just being a part of that environment?
Yeah, those are good questions, man. So first of all, I'm not an American citizen. After college, I graduated and I knew I had to go because looking for a work visa in the States is near impossible, especially with my major. I was a political science major. So yeah, not exactly the most useful. So basically, I went back to Hong Kong. That's where I'm from. And I already knew that I wasn't going to stay in Hong Kong for very long because I'm just, I like cities, I like Hong Kong, but it's just not a good place to live, especially like the housing prices and the work-life balance out there is just terrible. You know, like you live in you can pay like $2 million and still have the tiniest fucking apartment, like worse than SF. So that's just not where I wanted to advance in life, and I just didn't see the benefits to me. I mean, like you can make good money in Hong Kong, but like your life is gonna fucking suck. Like it's very normal for people to go to work at 9 and then leave at 10 p.m. Like that's pretty much like expected out there. So it's like after going to Cali, after going to the States, like I kind of knew like I wanted a better lifestyle for me, and rather than just listening to what society is telling me, what my parents are telling me, and just like getting a normal 9-to-5 job in the Hong Kong, I knew I had to do something different, and that's always been inside me, I think. And just like I was in Hong Kong for like 4 months, and I just needed to save some money, so I taught English for a while. But I knew I had to get the fuck out. I tried doing drop shipping while I was in Hong Kong. That's how I kind of started to get into the digital marketing thing. But that failed. I lost a couple $100. It wasn't that bad. But I still learned a lot. I took a lot of courses. So that's kind of how I started learning more about like digital advertising and stuff like that. Fast forward 3-4 months. This is January of 2019, I think 2018, 2019. I don't even remember anymore, but I knew I wanted to travel for a bit, kind of check out some places. But first place on my list was Bali, just because I've read a lot about like being a digital nomad, like being location independent, having your own online business, being able to be anywhere you want. And Bali is kind of like one of the hot spots. It's either between Chiang Mai or Bali. But so this was like actually a huge decision for me, like trying to pick between Chiang Mai or Bali first. I was almost going to go Chiang Mai, but I've actually been to Thailand a couple of times before with my family. So I was like, fuck, okay, I should just check out a new country. So that's kind of how I landed on Indonesia. And I'm really glad that happened though, because like all the people I've met here that used to live in Chiang Mai, they all say Chiang Mai sucks. So, Bali is the shit. But yeah, I traveled here. I was here for like a month. And I was really enjoying myself during that time. I saw a lot of the island, but I saw there was still so much left to explore. And my main purpose was kind of finding like my first stepping stone, my first job out here. So what did happen was I found a scuba dive shop. I'm an avid scuba diver. So I convinced the shop to let me do their marketing for them. And my job would start like a couple months after that, my little travel stint. So yeah, that first job was kind of the stepping stone. I did like their social media. I did a very tiny bit of ads. And just like general like marketing shit, graphic design, whatever. But that job paid like shit. It wasn't the most time consuming, but the pay was shit, which is normal. It's kind of what I expected. So I was paid like maybe $800-900 a month for technically a full-time job. So I kind of had to try and live off that when I first came here. But I was deeply I was deeply unhappy. I was very depressed because there was a lot of shit happening in my life at that time that just really waned on my mental health, I think. Just me not really 100% having a direction.
Yeah.
And one of my close friends passed away too during that time. So I was deeply depressed. I was not making a lot of money. People saw that I was in Bali, but you know, it's not all glitz and glamour in the beginning. Yeah, so I continued working that job. By then it was maybe the third or fourth month, and this was already when Corona was starting to happen. So I think this is by the time Corona was really hitting Bali, it was around February of 2019, I believe. And my dive shop closed down, and I lost my job, my shady job, which was so during that time I was trying to do, like, while I was doing that shitty job, I was looking for side hustles, and I was always like trying to learn new things to bring up my income. But when Corona started, that dive shop closed down, and then I lost that job. So at that point I was like, shit, I have a little bit of savings. I can either stay here and try to make it work, or I can go back to Hong Kong and live a shitty life. No offense to everyone in Hong Kong, but but yeah, I knew that wasn't enough. I was like, my back was against the wall. I had to fucking figure something out. So I basically didn't really have an income for like 1 to 2 months. I lived very cheaply here. You could live on like $600-700 a month here, easy, honestly, which is what I did. I probably paid like $200 in rent. Like similar in food, you can get a meal for like $1 here, like a decent fried rice. I'm sure it's just as cheap in Vietnam.
Yeah.
But like that's not the life I wanted to live. You know, like I like nice things. You know, like I have goals, so like I couldn't just be living like that, like a lot of the other people here that I meet. I mean, just to kind of explain the vibe here, there's a lot of like hardworking people that like are very ambitious, and then there's also like the people that come here and just like want to scrape by and just chill, relax, just party. I didn't think I was one of those people. I didn't want to like get locked into that. So for 1 to 2 months, I just scrambled. I tried to network. I talked to a lot of people, and I kind of got my first big break. I got a marketing job for like $2,000 a month. So that from that, like that first stepping stone, that's really like what propelled me to continue looking for my clients, and then now starting my own company. And just it's been a long journey, I think. But I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now. I think my situation really just started to improve like really well in 2021 when I landed my first 3K client. And by then, like February in 2021, I was making like 5-6K.
Yeah.
So by then I was like very comfortable. Like you don't really need too much money to live a fucking good life here, which is amazing. So yeah, it's been a long journey, and I'm happy I've gotten to this point.
Yeah. So how long did it take for you to get to this point again? Like in, I guess, months or years, or like?
I'd say to a comfortable my 5-6K point, like a year, a little bit more than a year, I think.
Yeah.
Since starting out at 700-800. So it was helpful to have kind of a job out here at first, even though it paid like shit, because it gives you a bit of a safety when you get here, and then you can look for other opportunities. Because like I feel like Bali is in a way like the Silicon Valley of Southeast Asia in terms of like online business and stuff like that. Because all the people that are like digital nomads that are very successful, a lot of them end up living here just because it's got such a strong community, and then your quality of life is so good. Like just to give you guys an example, like I pay $700 for for a room in a 3-bedroom villa that I share with some of my friends. And, I mean, my room's a fucking mess right now, but it's pretty decent. But like, this is my backyard right here. Got a pool, you know, like, you can live a very good life here, like, even if you just make like a regular US salary. Which is what I love.
Yeah, there's like no way you could get that in like, you know, SF or Los Angeles. Like,
no, that'd be like fucking like 10 grand, I think. I
yeah,
six grand, I think. 6-7 grand for the whole house, probably. But
yeah,
for the whole house, we're paying like 2 grand right now. So yeah.
So was it actually to kind of go back a little bit? We talked about like your first job. Like, was it easy to land that first job? Like, did you have any background in you know, marketing and stuff like that? How did you basically convince the scuba shop to, you know, let you do the marketing?
So I knew a bit of photography. I knew a bit of graphic design. I knew how to use Photoshop. And I had like a few small internships in college related to social media, but it was never like a huge thing. So it was mostly from talking to people. Like my biggest advice is just to like meet as many people as you can and just trying to like just put yourself out there, man. Even if you fail, like, it's okay. I know it's cliche, but I try to talk to a lot of people. I kind of like pitched them on what they would need, and they needed those services anyway too. So it was kind of luck, you know. I got pretty lucky, but at the same time in life, you make your own luck. So
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, you said like in the beginning, it wasn't all glitz and glamour and stuff like that. Because like what I know about Bali is like only like all I see from YouTube, like those gurus and stuff like that, or like Instagram like highlights and stuff like that. What was like the actual reality of it? You know, like I know we kind of skimmed through like your timeline and stuff, but
shit, a lot of talked about, but so it's still nice. I still had a nice life technically at $700-800 a month. I mean, like the locals here make like $300 a month. So like I was still earning like more than double what the average local earned, which I was able to have a nice little guest house. Like I'm a person that I really care about like my food. So I got like really sick of eating the local food, which is what is cheap out here. But I don't know, I guess to a lot of people it wouldn't be that bad. I mean, I know a lot of people that just eat local food all the time. And okay, just this is a hot take kind of, but like Vietnamese food is way better than Indonesian food. I think out of all the Southeast Asian countries, Indonesian food is probably like on the lowest tier. No offense to all my Indonesian friends. Like I love Thai food, Vietnamese food is amazing, Chinese food amazing, Malaysian food's amazing. Indonesian food, I gotta say, it's way below.
No way. Wait.
They've got like nasi goreng. They've got a couple decent stuff, but it's just too oily, and then there's only so much of it I can eat. So like right now, like I barely ever eat local food. Like I ate way too much of it when I was like coming up, and now I can't go back to that life.
No way. So like I need to ask because like I'm here in Vietnam right now, right? I'm in Hanoi, and I honestly don't really like some of the Vietnamese dishes here, right? I'd much rather I think I'm more accustomed to like the Southern Vietnamese palate, like the flavors, right? Or like California Vietnamese. So I don't know if what you're saying is true, man. I need to try out your like Indonesian food.
Yeah, you gotta try it out. But yeah, the Western food and all that other stuff is like it's world class here, and it's basically half the price of what it would be in the US. So like I eat really well here. Like it's insane sometimes. And it's just everything's very convenient. Like I don't know if it's the same in Vietnam, but they have kind of like an Uber Eats here.
Yeah,
that's
Grad.
Like very, very cheap. It's like 50 cents for delivery, and then it reaches like pretty much like every good restaurant out here, and it's all on the same app. So like you can call a Uber car on the same app as you order food, and on that same app you can order a massage, you can order someone to clean your house, you can basically do fucking anything on that app. So Indonesia, a lot of people probably see as like a third world country, which I guess it is. But in some ways, I feel like it's very advanced because like Gojek, that's the app. It made my life so fucking easy, you know. Like
Yeah.
I press a button and then someone comes and picks up my laundry, and then I press another button and then someone comes to my house and they give me a massage, you know, like and massage is like $5. So it's just the life here is just so good, you know.
That's crazy. Yeah, I think Gojek, I think we have that here in Vietnam too. I think we just call it Grab, but I think it's under like the same
Okay,
company.
yeah, Grab, yeah.
Yeah, we basically
we
have like
Grab.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how like America kind of just like barely caught on with like the whole delivery service and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. I think the biggest thing though is just like the cost of labor is so low out here. Plus, everyone drives scooters, which is so much more like convenient and economical. So it just makes the whole business model work. Like, I feel like Gojek wouldn't work in the States, except for maybe like really big cities like New York. But yeah.
Okay, so I guess we kind of brushed over like the glitz and glamour and stuff like that. What's like your actual day-to-day like? Like, do you actually just get to chill on the beach? I see a lot of your highlights and stuff like that. You're always like traveling, hiking, doing like drone shots, hanging out with monkeys and stuff. So what's the actual day-to-day?
So obviously a lot of people see my life and they probably obviously I only post the good parts, right? Like I don't post when I'm like up late at night working on shit. So people obviously feel like I'm just like relaxing and doing my thing out here, which I am. My work-life balance is excellent, but at the same time, I do work pretty hard, or else I wouldn't have gone to where I am today. So my typical workday, I wake up at like, okay, when I say I work pretty hard, it's probably like not that hard compared to most people in the States now, but like, I wake up at like 9 or 10. I chill for a bit, grab some breakfast maybe, and then I get to work at 11. I maybe work like 2-3 hours. And then maybe at like 2 or 3, I go to the gym, chill a bit, and then I probably don't start working again until like 8 after I've had dinner. But the thing is, a lot of my clients are in the States, so I take a lot of calls at like midnight or 1 a.m.
Yeah.
So that's why I sleep so late. But yeah, I on average, I probably work like 6-7 hours a day, which is not bad. And I work like, I usually work like every day, but on weekends, maybe I'll work like 2-3 hours just because there's always something to do. Like, like I feel like I'm not working hard enough because I feel like when you're running a business, there's always something more you can do, right? It's not like you clock in, clock out, which is what I enjoy. Because I feel like you really do see your returns when you do put in more work. But yeah, I'm really I'm really like a proponent of keeping your mind, body and soul in check. So I'm always I'm always trying to learn more. I'm always like watching videos and like reading books and shit. With my body, I try to work out like 4 or 5 times a week. I'm seeing a personal trainer just to like fix some muscular imbalances and some like issues I have with my back and stuff, which has been really helpful. And then with your soul, like I think it's really important to give back to your community. So sometimes I teach English to some local kids. And then we're also trying to build a house for these 2 kids that just sorry, I just lost you there. These 2 kids that recently lost their parents. So I think it's good to be a holistic human and kind of give back to your community at the same time. Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Yeah, it sounds like a pretty nice schedule that you have, like you're able to not only, develop yourself professionally, but also like have the time to, fix yourself physically, go to the gym, have your dinners, kind of have that little break in between work. And do all the other things that you want to do, right? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I didn't touch on my weekends yet, but weekends, especially during dry season, I always try to like go out and do something active. I'm a person that really loves nature, and that's why I picked Bali. There's just so many like cool things I can do in my free time that I love. I'm actually not much of a drinker / partier anymore. I used to be back in college, but I've really like strayed away from that. So on my weekends, I take my motorcycle and I drive maybe like, I don't know, 2-3 hours, explore the island. There's like so much to see, you know. You can drive 2 hours and it'll feel like a completely different country because you're up in the mountains. It's like way colder. You won't even feel like you're in Bali anymore. Or you can go to like some random village and just like take in the real Bali. Because so where I live right now it's called Canggu. It's where basically a lot of the digital nomads live.
Yeah.
And it basically feels like a Western country a little bit. Like it's very Westernized, very, very Westernized. So if I want to go see the Bali or the real Bali, I can drive like 1 to 2 hours, and then I can just, I don't know, stay overnight someplace. And yeah, and just really enjoy the island, because when I do stay in Canggu too long, I do get kind of stressed out. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So speaking of like your weekends and stuff like that, and I guess since you're kind of transitioning out of Bali, you know, what would be like the top things that you would recommend, or like the top things to do before like leaving Bali, or like your top favorite activities?
Yeah, that's yeah, it's hard to choose, but I've been all around this island at this point. I've probably been like most of the places I've been, like 95% of tourists in Bali don't go, because most tourists in Bali only stay in like the southern, like westernized part, which is okay, but like there's just so much to see. So I think my number one is go to Nusa Penida, which is not actually Bali. It's an island 30 minutes off the coast of Bali. So that place has like the most amazing views, most amazing like hiking points, and just a really beautiful place to see. And number two, I'd probably pick Ahmed. Ahmed is in the northeast coast of Bali. It's a 3-hour drive from the airport, so it's pretty far. Most people don't go there, but it's got excellent diving.
Yeah.
It's got great views. It's right next to where the volcano is, and it's just like a really chill vibe. Like the food there is actually pretty decent, and a lot of yoga going on out there. It's just it's hard to describe, but each little area in Bali is like its own little vibe. So really have to come out here and see. Number three, I'd probably pick Kintamani, which is right in front of Mount Batur. It's right where the volcano is. So they have a lot of like cool viewpoints and coffee shops right along the rim of the volcano.
Yeah.
So it's like great views. Cool place to stay. There's like hot springs there too. So
yeah. Wait, so
yeah,
the coffee shops are like right around like the volcano? Is it like an active volcano?
So it's not. So the volcano is like, so this is the volcano, and then there's like a caldera, like a rim around the volcano. So it's not on the volcano itself. It's like more like on this point. So you're looking at it. It's not. Actually, it might be active. I don't know. But it's not really a safety concern as far as I know. But yeah, there's like hot springs there, which is sick. So like you can drive there at sunset, and then when you get there, it's at night. You're all tired, and you get into the hot spring. And I remember like that moment. Like I got into the pool. I looked up at the skies, and there's like a shit ton of stars, and I was like, shit, this is like a perfect moment, you know, like. So yeah, if you do come to Bali, like I recommend you like learn how to ride a scooter. It's not hard. But yeah, that's definitely the best way to see the island, just because there's so many like sick roads with like I'm a person that really likes to drive. So there's so many like sick roads and so many places to see that you'll miss if you just like take a driver. So like scooter / motorcycle is the best way to see the island.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess I know. I also see that you're following like influencers in the wild, right? Have you ever like caught any weird moments like living in Bali, or just like?
Oh yeah, there's so many influencers out here, man. Like one of the gyms I go to is like, it's like an influencer hotspot. It's like one of those like wellness like places. So I see like people with like over 1 million followers like all the time, you know, like all those like gurus and shit. Like I see them. Like, Mike Vesteel.
I think I might have heard of him, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah. I mean, I see like a ton of those guys, and a lot of my friends are friends with them. But Yeah, I guess like the cool thing is like with Bali, it's just like the community, you know, you meet a lot of like-minded people from all over the world. So that's kind of what I was missing when I was in the States. In the States, I kind of felt like I was just hanging out with like one type of person. I mean, I don't regret anything, but like it was just I feel like I felt a little limited because I was only hanging out with like California born Asians. Like the only diversity would be like NorCal or SoCal. And like I kind of missed that when I was there. So once you're here, man, you'll meet like people all over the world, from Europe, Australia, Africa, the States, a lot of Americans. Most of my friends here are Canadian. But yeah, that's the really cool part. You get to connect with people from all over the world. You learn a lot of new perspectives. And a lot of the people here, they've traveled all over too. So there's a lot to learn about. Yeah.
Okay, so last few questions. Is there anything that you wish you would have done sooner, or like would have changed or done differently, like or done faster maybe?
I think coming out here, I don't have any regrets. It's just with doing faster, I feel like I couldn't have done it. I mean, I could have worked harder, but like that journey of learning and like picking up new skills, that's something I had to do, and I couldn't really like accelerate that. I guess what I wish I could have done is just try and meet more people, because I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't meet the right people.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I could have done this shit alone. You know, like I had to like, you need mentors to kind of guide you. There's only so much you can learn online, I think. So that's what I want to be for other people that are trying to do what I'm trying to do as well. I want to help coach them and give them the right resources. That's definitely one of the goals that I want to set for myself in the future, especially for my fraternity. I do want to give some sort of presentation on alumni night, obviously remotely, but I do want to like help mentor someone from my fraternity, someone much younger than me, and eventually get them over here. Like I even want to buy their flight at some point if they show me that they're actually committed. But yeah, that's definitely one of my goals.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely try to like help you with that too, because I'm trying to, since I'm going back to the US soon, I'm trying to reconnect with a bunch of us, but that's something we could talk about like later.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and what about like, I know you kind of said to network and like meet more people, or like try to meet as many people as possible, but like what's the best advice and like worst advice that you've received?
So first of all, to meet people, like co-working spaces are great. They're just basically these shared offices. You pay and then you get to use them, and there's a lot of networking events. But a lot of the networking actually happens like at bars and clubs, which is what I realized. I don't like drinking much anymore, but I do see a very strong benefit in going out and partying, actually, believe it or not, because you meet a lot of important people when you go out to places like that. So honestly, like this is like the weirdest advice ever, but like go out and party, but like don't overdo it, obviously, and go out with like something in the back of your mind that has like a professional motive behind it too, you know?
Yeah.
Worst advice would be like go back to Hong Kong and live a shitty life. Like you know,
is that what someone actually like told you? Like, you know, like when you like did your family have any like you know,
obviously my family was very iffy on me coming out here.
Yeah.
I mean, which is totally understandable. Like I didn't expect them to be like super overjoyed at me coming out here, because and I totally understood where they're coming from, but it's just I think at the end of the day you need to go for what you want in life, and don't let society determine that. You don't need to work a 9 to 5 and wait for your 2 weeks of vacation. you can do something else,
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of mentioned like you want to do like a mentorship, coaching, give back to the community. So is there anything else that you want to like plug specifically before we like wrap this up? Maybe some way for people to reach you?
Yeah, so it says I'm working at Batur Digital right now, but I'm not really too much affiliated with them at this point. I'm starting my own company called Seastone Solutions. So my domain is seastone.solutions. The website is still under construction, but by the time this interview is probably posted, it'll be done. So come check out my site. I offer digital advertising solutions plus content production. So in terms of content production, that would be web design, graphic design, video editing, and copywriting. But my specialty is working with paid ad campaigns. So that would be Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok, and anything pay-per-click I will do. And I will outline your marketing strategy. So I'm trying to pivot more into digital strategy and consulting. I feel like that's where my strengths and my passions really are. And my goal is to really grow my marketing agency to the point where it can be like pretty much self-autonomous and act as a source of passive income for me, so I can continue pursuing my passion projects.
Yeah, dang. I think if I ever have the chance to do like a follow-up interview with you, I would want to ask more about like the business side of this. I think we kind of talked about like the journey, but yeah, and I think in like the next interview, if I ever have the chance, just talk more about business. But Henry, thank you for your time, dude. Thanks for all this insight. Is there any other way that you want to plug like for them to reach you, or is it just the website?
My website, and then you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm Henry Chan. I think I'm Henry K Chan 261 on LinkedIn, and you can follow me on Instagram at Henry K Chan CHAN. But yeah, thanks for having this interview with me, man.
Dude, thanks for your time, man. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot. I've been wanting to visit you, but with the whole lockdown situation, dude, it's been a lot.
Oh, and one more note, I am leaving Bali in a month now. Wow, that's crazy. Like a little bit more than a month, but I love this island so much. But I have been here for 2 years, and one of the reasons why I went this route is just the being location independent and being able to go wherever I want. So I think I'm finally going to be able to have an opportunity to do that in October. I think this is the right timing to leave after 2 years. I'm most likely going to Turkey first, and then I'm gonna go check out Greece and Egypt and maybe some other countries as well. So maybe our next meeting will be in Europe. We'll see. But I'm really looking forward to that.
All right, cool, man. Or maybe you'll be back in Bali. Right? I remember you said you.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. All right, Henry. I know you're busy. Thank you for your time, and I'll try to upload this as soon as I can, dude. I really appreciate it, man.
Cool, man. Yeah, thanks for interviewing me. This was a cool experience.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. Thanks, everybody. See ya.